Well, hey, we are only a week and a half into the season, so you know, Dan Muse is trying out a lot of different things right now. I'm assuming that we might, depending how the team does, even see some players get called up. I mean, if the Penguins continue to struggle, I could see maybe some guys like Tristan Broz and Avery Hayes getting an opportunity at some point this season. And I know General Manager Kyle Dubas just talked with Josh about that in their recent episode of Penguins Game Plan. So let's just take a listen here and hear what Dubas had to say about those young prospects.
Two guys that got some opportunities in your top six. Tristan Broz, I know, granted, lineups changed night to night. The preseason was centering the top line on a couple of occasions.
Yeah.
What'd you make of their preseason? And was it a similar kind of thought of these are top line opportunities in Wilkes as opposed to maybe a little bit different here?
With Tristan going into camp, starting in Buffalo, we wanted to put him in a good position to we felt he had earned that last year. We used him as the placeholder in the first two exhibition games with the wingers that had been practicing with Sid and Gino to see how he would do going into Montreal, into Columbus, playing against their top lines on the road. Felt he played well, then felt he had a bit of a drop off in the middle of camp, and then came on strong at the end. And we feel he's knocking right at the door. Avery was excellent in Buffalo at the Prospect Showcase. He had a strong start early, and then right around the middle of the camp, he started both in practice and the games, just thought his effectiveness dropped, and then at the end he pushed his way back again and finished very strong. He's just someone that we feel embodies everything that we want to be about on the developmental side. They're there, they're banging on the door. Can they go down, play huge minutes, and continue to exert themselves? And much in the way that Ville did throughout the year last year, particularly at the end, and Rutger the same way, and earn their way up. So.
Yeah, good stuff there. Dan, you and I were at practice, one of the last practices of the year before the opening season would happen. And remember Tristan Broz, he just had a really sad look on his face. I think he really thought he was going to make the team this year. But unfortunately, when we saw a smaller group out for that early morning practice, we kind of knew, right, that practice was going to be the B team, if you will, that wasn't making the roster. But I felt like we saw a lot of good things from him, right? He was used in all areas of the game, PK, power play, kind of jumbled him around different lines as well. And then you got a guy in Avery Hayes who came here on an AHL contract, earned himself an NHL contract in March. So a couple of young guys, maybe we'll see them at some point this season.
Well, you heard Kyle talk about both of them, and it's obvious he doesn't like them very much at all. I mean, let's be honest.
Doesn't think they're talented at all. Yeah.
Right. So, look, Kyle has made his plan very clear. Want to get some young guys in here. 13 players drafted just a few months ago this summer in the draft, and he's giving the kids a good long look. And I think, sure, of course, Tristan's going to be disappointed in the fact that he didn't make the team, but he goes to Wilkes, where he played last year and had a really good season for the baby Penguins. He's back now, getting some more seasoning with the opportunity to continue to build on his play and what he's doing offensively for that team. And last season, when I was with the Penguins in Denver, I had a chance to go pay a visit to his old college coach.
That's right.
Or pay a visit to his old college and speak to his old college coach at Denver University, where and he was also Coach Carl was very happy to talk about the fact that he enjoyed watching how Tristan was able to grow up at the college level and how he matured as a player and helped them in the playoffs and helped them succeed and turn that corner. And he was not surprised by the success that he was having at that time with Wilkes-Barre Scranton. So I think the learning curve is continuing for him. And let's be honest, I think the future is very bright for him. It's just a matter of timing and when. And the same thing for Avery Hayes. He had a great camp. Here's a guy that opened up a lot of eyes with what he was able to do, not only during practice, but in games, in preseason games for the Penguins. So same thing. They're getting some extra seasoning. They're getting more playing time. And really, that's what it's all about, because it does them no good if they're going to be here with the big club and they just sit and don't get a chance to play. Now, I'm sure they continue to learn and practice from guys like Crosby and Malkin and Letang and Rust and Raquel. Who wouldn't learn? And I, we've talked about this before. Fans that come out to watch can learn so much at practice, because what they do at practice is what that in turn is executed on game night. But still, nothing can, substitute a game. So if they're just going to sit here and not play, it does them no good. So they're at Wilkes, and they're continuing to fine tune their game. I am excited about what the future has in store for not only them, but for the rest of the young players that the Penguins continued to try to have acquired this past summer in the draft. And let's face it, there's a long list of picks that Dubas has got in his pocket moving forward.
Yeah, well said. I mean, you mentioned the preseason. I remember same thing with Ville Koivunen going down right now to get some reps, but it was him, Avery Hayes, as well as Ben Kindle. Remember how well they were playing against Detroit's top line, Buffalo's top line with Tage Thompson. I mean, they controlled the majority of shot attempts, and their line was the one that was mostly going up against those top lines. So I think they've proven that they can hang at this level. But hey, you can't give everybody a chance on that opening night roster. Ben Kindle, we'll see if he stays past 9 games, but if he does go back to his junior team after nine games, I wouldn't be surprised if Broz or Hayes got called up. But what do you think about Ben Kindle so far with that? I mean, I'm wondering, is there anything left for him to actually learn at the junior level of hockey with just how well he's fit in to this NHL level? What do you think they're going to do?
Great question. I don't know what they're going to do, but it's probably a good problem to have because he's already forcing them to make this decision, right? The fact that he's here and that they could not send him back. And the same thing with Harrison Brunick, the fact that they've earned the opportunity to play at this level. And damn, you said that, like they've earned this. So I don't want to say they forced their hand, but hey, they have said, hey, guys, we can play here and we can be effective. Both have scored goals. Both are hanging with the big club, playing with veterans and making some noise. Even if they were to go back, again, same thing. They're 18, 19 years old. They obviously will not be there next season. The fact that they're here now just shows you what they can do at this level.
It's been interesting.
It's a great. I don't know what the team's going to do. Back in 2006, the Penguins drafted Jordan Staal, who was 18 years old. And I think the thought was back then that, he'll only be here for a handful of games. But he went out and scored 20 plus goals, turned a lot of heads, and then it was excellent on the penalty kill. And it was a mainstay and a focal point on that team all season long. So
how do you not keep him?
I don't know. It's a difficult decision,
very
but I
interesting.
think and I think it's challenging the coaching staff to make a difficult decision. But that's a good thing because it just shows that they've got some talent knocking on the door, ready to play. So we'll see where it goes. But I don't know. Even the fact that they didn't play Harrison last night in Anaheim because it's part of the plan. We're going to develop these younger players our way. We've been down this road before with other players. Let's give him a rest. He's done playing well. He could probably play every minute of every game because he's 19 years old, but we're going to give him a rest physically, maybe a rest mentally. It's part of the plan to develop them in what they feel is the right way. Okay. All right. So if he goes back, that's probably part of that same plan.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. Interesting to see who's going to be sent down and who might get called up. Did you ever hear, by the way, Avery Hayes of how he found out he was earning the NHL contract in March? He was getting a massage at the time, and his agent was trying to get a hold of him to tell him the news. And he was ignoring the calls because he was enjoying a massage. So his agent, later in the day, he finally calls him back and he's like, dude, I've been trying to get a hold of you. He was like, sorry, I was getting a massage. It's the end of the season. I'm trying to, keep my body right. But I thought that was pretty funny because, young guys, they're always on their phone. Of course, the one time someone tries to get a hold of him, he's getting a massage.